When you see an Indigenous youth of Guyana, what thoughts occupy your mind?
I am a proud Indigenous youth of Guyana.
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 Do you see youths who are venturing from their respective villages to Georgetown to attain training, jobs and opportunities which are leading to them occupying roles in key areas of development in Guyana? Our Constitution affords them equal access to contribute intellectually, socially, culturally, politically, and physically. They are silently making their presence felt, yet they feel like outsiders rather than the first youths of Guyana. How are we going to address this disconnect? They're suggesting that we listen to them, appreciate them, respect them, and aspire to attain the founding principles of this dear land of ours. Listen to the pleas in their voices. See the hope in their faces and feel their willingness to work cooperatively towards the betterment of themselves and all Guyanese.
Yazek Romario, Kapon Beji, Kagorgo Beji, and Kapon Tomba, Akawayo Vizaru, and Asinway Satamba. My name is Romario. I'm from the Kapong Nation, also known as the Akawayos. I belong to a specific group of people called the Kagorgok, which means the people of the Kako River. Indigenous people, they're usually known to have their own names, and it is the same case for me. So we are usually referred to as Akawayos, but the people themselves, they have names that they use to describe themselves in their language. Our system of identity is not as easy and straightforward. We carry different identities based on which type of people we are. So anthropologists would usually say that it's kind of a nested identity of multiple layers of identity. So for me, I am a Kapong at the first phase. At the second level, I belong to a regional group of Akawayos in the Upper Mazaruni, and lastly, I belong to a specific group of Akawayos in the Upper Mazaruni, which are the Kakorgok, which means the river, the people of the Kako River. I'm proud of the common history that we share with among ourselves as indigenous people, whether it's between Arakuna and Akawayo, Waiwai, whatever. I'm proud of the history and the knowledge that we share together. Graham Barnett, he said that Amerindians were the map and the memory of Guyana. And it's something that really resonates with me because that encompasses what we are. And I just want to add that even today, as Amerindians, as indigenous people, we remain as a map of our territory. If you know about that, I think this is where self-empowerment as an indigenous youth begins, because you know your true history. You have a responsibility to know your history as an indigenous youth or whatever. So I think it begins with you, and if you should have a collective group of people who are aware of who they are, their identities, I think that is where a change as the future group of Amerindians starts. So I don't want to say anything on a big scale, but it starts with you personally. That is what needs to change. Language is an important part of an indigenous identity. So to promote my culture, the first thing is you gotta know your language. Because some of the histories and the stories and the traditions that we have, they are embedded in history. Our culture is an oral history, or an oral culture, sorry, the entire culture itself. So that means that to promote that is firstly to promote our languages. We got to speak our languages. We have to be able to know certain things, certain concepts, certain practices, certain belief systems within our language. So the first promotion I would do on a national level is to promote my language.
Hello, my name is Letitia Daniels. I'm 23 years old and I'm from Santa Mission in Region 3, the only Amerindian village there. I'm also pursuing ATC. I'm going classes at ATC doing CAT course. Technology has really done a bad impact on us because we don't really upkeep our tradition there. You don't really see nothing. You would probably see 1 or 2 houses making cassava bread or doing anything tradition, right? I think this is probably because we are close to the coastline and Georgetown is right there from us. So this technology and these advancements just like draw away from us, our culture. But still, like if we have people coming in there, we will try to, make the place beautiful. If you enter Santa Mission and you see some kids there at the landing, they would greet you. You would feel like if you're at home. I think technology is the main thing that is taking over the youths there. Well, for example, I have my little brother. He has a tablet and he would be on it whole day. Compared to me when I was younger, I would be all over the place, half naked with boys and everybody just playing in the rain. We play marbles, salad, anything other than technology. But now, compared to when I was young, he would just be upstairs home. He wouldn't come out if it's rain or sun. For me, I'm 23 years old. I would come out and go and play in the rain. Compared to him, he would prefer to be in his bed with the tablet. And it's like with everybody there. If there's a group of boys, young boys that go home and one has a phone and they got music, games or whatever, you would see a cluster of them together instead of them playing cricket. They prefer to be together just looking at videos on phone. So technology is like the main thing that's affecting the youths in there. Yeah. Well, I would use that now because some of them, the students or the kids that go in there, they would normally go in like in the August holiday and they would know what TV is or so. So I would take that opportunity, go in there and do workshops and film show and just teach them about their heritage so that they could learn it through technology because that is kind of a technology thing. Home will always be home to me. I would prefer to be there and live there and be with my parents and continue living there, but they don't have that opportunity for me. I can't go back there and have a job. I have to be in town here to get a job, to maintain myself. I'm getting older every day. I can't depend on my parents all the time.
My name is Liam Batwar. I am from Maraicobai village, which is the only Amerindian community in region number 5. I'm also a teacher. What I found in region number 5 is that our region, which is Maraicobai, is the only Amerindian community. So it's only accessible by road or by the creek, and it's basically 90 miles up the Maikoni River. What's different in Maikoni, and we all know that the national bird is found in that creek. So when traveling from the length and breadth from Maraicobai to Maikoni, you would see that bird. That's one of the things that's attractive of my community as well. Being a teacher from an education perspective, I find that it takes a very long time for us to have those resources, and it's difficult for us as well to teach the children certain concepts or certain things because technology is not there. And we know that this era in this world now, or this universe, or Guyana in any way, is becoming technological. So that's basically we're lack there. And I think the government needs to do a lot more to that, and we will definitely be there. I would have said that we have a lot of disadvantage when it comes to academics, and we would have produced some number of scholarships, and I think we can do better than that if we have the correct resource, the proper resource I would say, so that we can be a better place. September was my first year teaching at a school on the coast, and it was challenging at first because obviously they would look at me and they say, this is an Amerindian teacher. I'm short, but I would have let them know that I'm not here as an Amerindian teacher. I'm here as a teacher for the country. And what I'm imparting in you is what's important for you and not what's important for me as an individual. So the respect that you would give to the other teacher, let's say of a different ethnic group, you would give it to me as well, because I'm not only here as an Amerindian, but I'm here to give you what you as an individual and as a member, as a citizen of this country needed.
វាសិមើលខ្លាយប្រាំងរត់បងរើប៉ាតាមណា
My name is Clyde Edwards. I am originally from the beautiful Amerindian village that is located in region number 8, and it is called Paramakatoy. I attended the nursery, primary and secondary schools there. Then I migrated to Georgetown to attend University of Guyana, where I majored in tourism. Currently, I am attached to Guyana Tourism Authority in Stats Department. As a tourism student, I have traveled in so many communities in Guyana, and I have used social media as a tool in promoting Guyana as a tourism destination. So I am really grateful for the opportunity that was given to me so that I can promote my country as a destination for tourists. Guyana is not only Georgetown. Guyana is more than Georgetown. You have so many things to experience. For example, you have nature walks, scenery, and everything is there because Guyana is a beautiful country. You have to see your country in a different way, as a destination that is beautiful in terms of nature.
My name is Lisa Smith. I'm a 21-year-old tourism student at the University of Guyana. I was born in Georgetown, however, I grew up on the Essequibo coast and I spent most of my holidays in Pomeroon, where I was exposed to my indigenous ways. I would encourage you to go to a place called Akawini. They're very, very, very far from Georgetown, and they still practice the ways of the indigenous man. You know, they still do hunting. There's limited amount of technology there, which is something that I like personally because as it relates to tourism, I don't think that communities should get involved in like the whole big commodification because I mean, yes, culture exchange is good. Yes, people could come and see what we do, but I don't like the whole commodification issue. I prefer them to promote sustainability and conservation in Akawini. I would encourage you to go there to see how these people live because of the practices that they do, which is like hunting, fishing, smoking meat, you know, making these big pepper pots, having these, what do you call it? The village leader would take everybody, cook for them, and they all work together to like build something in the community. Most of our Amerindian young women, they're not educated, most of them. But I believe that Amerindian people are very intelligent people because for one simple fact that if you go into the hinterland and you talk to these Amerindian people, they speak perfect English. And that goes way back in history when the Anglicans came and they taught them English, so their English is perfect, right? And I believe that if these people get the opportunity, they will take it and they will be educated. I know a lot of Amerindian people that are very educated in Guyana. And I feel if our Amerindian women are exposed to these type of knowledge, they would treat themselves better. Because I would say the reason why things are happening to them the way it is, and people say a lot of things about Amerindian women, you know, is because they just come to the coast and then they get married and then things happen and then that's it. You know, they what can I say? I don't want to say depend on men, but they get themselves involved in these situations whereby, you know, it leads to them having kids. And I feel if they were, just like how the coastlanders are being educated, if they were, they would have made better decisions. So that's something I'm very concerned about as well. I want to be viewed as anybody else in Guyana. I want to be respected. I want to be acknowledged. I want to be able to voice my concerns. I want to be able to go places and people look at me, because the thing about it is that when Amerindian people go certain places, they think that you're stupid, you know, until they hear you talk or until they hear you say things, then they acknowledge you. But other than that, they expect you to like accept what they give you. You know, if you don't fight or if you don't go up, And Amerindian people are very passive people. You know, they're not this big ignorant type of people. And that is one of the reasons why I feel most of them are being taken advantage of. And I think that is because they're not that exposed, you know? So they have this kind of passive mentality thing going on. I want to be treated as everybody else in Guyana. I'm a very patriotic person, and that's one of the reasons why I chose tourism, because I feel I could do much for this country through that particular sector. And even if it so happens that I leave, I would bring all my resources, everything, my capital, everything, I would invest it back to Guyana. And that's something that I'm very proud of. Because I know when I started UG, we were going through a brain drain. We're probably still going through a brain drain currently. And, you know, I don't, if more youths continue to leave, well then the country is not going to get developed, right? So that is something that I'm proud of. I want to do everything I could for this country.
My name is Darian Gomes. I'm from the Arawak tribe, from Region 1. I'm the only one on the coastline out here. My rest of siblings, they reside in Region 1. We're the first people. We Amerindians are the first people, and I think the way we live in the interior, the way we live, it's different. It's, you know, we take nature and we make use of nature in there, whereas out here it's different.
Kaimen, my name is Vaughn Duncan. I'm a descendant of the Wapishana and Taruma tribes of Guyana. I'm from the Rupununi, one of the last frontiers in Guyana. I've just completed my studies at the University of Guyana, where I was pursuing a degree in economics. In my effort in being an activist, I could say I've been questioned a few times of the rationale behind certain moves when I speak. I could remember twice already I've written to the press expressing concerns of certain things that have been happening in indigenous communities, and many of them would want to question why am I doing that, and, you know, question the rationale in terms of whether am I part of the village, or am I on the coast? And if I'm on the coast, then I have no right to speak on certain issues as an indigenous community, as an indigenous person. I would be questioned on that basis. If you feel the whip, you know, meaning if people criticize you, you're doing something right, then yeah, I am being heard. The question is something being done? For me, I don't think anything has been done, and there is a slow, very slow pace for justice towards Amerindians, being very, very slow, and that is one of my concerns I have. And many of the times what we find is that they refuse to speak, you know. Indigenous people themselves refuse to speak. I don't know how to get things out of people, but maybe you need the personnel, the people, to get those information out of them. I think that's what in the indigenous community would require for justice to be done towards them.
Hi, I'm Murphy David. I am a proud descendant of the Makushis and Akawayos. I was born in Camarang, Region 7, and actually spent most of my childhood in Anai, Region 9. I am currently a third-year student at Rajiv Gandhi University of Science and Technology, reading for a bachelor's in medicine. I am also serving as the president for the University Student Government Associations. The lifestyle of most Amerindians in the Amerindian communities, well, actually where I'm from, education is seen as a first priority, and that is what my family value, and I value education, so it is very important to me. In Anai, where I spent most of my childhood, there was never an actual doctor that graduated or a doctor that came from that prospective community, so if possible, I probably might be the first Amerindian doctor from that village, and so serving that community. Well, one of the reasons why I chose medicine, it was because of an incident that happened in my family, right? And so it was something that I pondered on so many times, and I thought that, studying medicine would not just bring that sort of relief to me when it came to that incident, but actually helping people not just around me, not in my community, but my country as whole, and if possible, probably the entire world. I did not complete my secondary education in the interior because of the lack of resources and the teachers that were in there. So I was actually transferred from out there to a school in Georgetown. And so education, students or people, young persons like myself coming out from there to study medicine out, not exactly medicine, but other, venturing into other fields in education out here. It is quite different from the education out here in there, and it is challenging to some extent. For one, the quality of education, the resources, and so the personnel that are being deployed and that do service to the communities in there, it's very, it is at a disadvantage for a lot of Amerindian people out there. While out here you have more educated persons, you have a lot of resources, and so it is quite different.
My name is Arlen Smith. I'm from Latim. I'm 21 years old. I attended the St. Ignatius Nursery, primary and secondary. Well, for the past 10 years, they're not promoting football as much as they should, because football is a very popular game in the world. So in the interior, they're not promoting it that much. Well, there's been some challenges. The cost of living is high. Oh, I get to groove in. Do I feel respected? No. We should, get together and let people hear our voice, so that that in the future that we could have respect, because we as Amerindians in the coastlands, we don't have that sort of level of respect. We are just kind of low. People see us as low. Well, I see myself, I have respect. I respect everybody, race, everything. Well, for other indigenous, well, I respect them too, and they respect me. I would like there to be treated more fair, and too. Well, we as indigenous people, we are intelligent. We are fast learners.
What we choose to do after watching this documentary will determine whether or not we are ready to be one people and one nation with one common destiny.